Good evening, Internet. I am back in the DM's chair. This is episode 29 of Malt and Magic, The Forgotten Kingdom of Nihilin. First of all, let's not ignore the obvious. For those of us that are in the UK, I know it's a rough night. I know we've had bad news. We are here to help you get through it. Join us for the craziness, for the madness that is Malt and Magic. And let's have a little bit of fun in this rather trying time. So let's do our usual shout-outs. Massive shout-outs to D&D Beyond for general game management, character sheet management, which the boys have certainly found useful over the last fortnight with the special surprise which I gave them at the end of the last canon episode. A little bit more on that later. Big shout-out to Hero Forge for the character creation. You hopefully, if you've checked out episode 28, you've seen the little presents that the boys got. In terms of minis, they came direct from Hero Forge and they were amazing. So detailed, it's ridiculous. Also, massive shout outs and thank yous to Tabletop Audio, Incarnate for mapping, and also Kassoon.com. I think we've already done a quick shout out to them on Twitter, but we will repost it if not, or sorry, we'll repost it if we have, or post it again if we haven't already. As always, we do have an affiliation with BattleBards, so please do check them out. If you want any sound effects in your own game, we do have a cheeky discount code just coming up on screen there. So please do enter Malt and Magic when you register. Get yourselves a little discount. Get some sound effects. Bring some more immersion to your game. Get on your virtual playing platform of choice and have some fun. If you have not checked out our Christmas one-shot yet that we did last week, it was a lot of fun. Please do go have a look on YouTube. It was nuts. There was just total shenanigans, absolute shenanigans. And also, if you've not checked out Tales of Tilnar yet, which is run by our very own Samal, please do go check that out on YouTube as well. Some really good episodes in there. I've personally been binging that a little bit over the last few weeks. So please do go check that out. That is me done for the shout out. So my usual warnings apply. Adult language will be used and there probably will be a lot of it. There will also be a lot of adult humour, so please do be warned. Let's go. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. We're back.
It is 2021.
It is.
Is it?
It is 2021. It may not feel like it, but it is a new year, and it's going to be a good year. It is going to be a good year. So we'll go down the line very quickly before we get into it. I've already introduced myself, but I am Matt. I am the Dungeon Master. I also play the sidekick character of Bothrid, and I will put my teeth in before I start talking again.
I am Danny. I play Ander Hornraven, and I am personally sick of cheese boards after Christmas. I bought too many. Nobody could come round.
I'm Simone, and I play Kirik, and I am still drinking mulled wine, so, whatever.
Dave, I play Dargon the Goliath, and forgive me if I'm a little quiet tonight. I currently have a migraine, but I'm sticking through it because I love this stuff.
Yeah, so we're going to have to take it easy on our resident tank today. I'm going to have another sip of gin because I'm struggling to speak today. First day back at work, totally blown me away today.
So should we take on a dragon today?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's drop the dragon on you, why not? So we've had 2 weeks since last episode. And last episode there's quite a bit that happened. We had the Midwinters Festival. We had visitations from various NPCs. There was some present exchanging, of which all presents should now be present and correct on your character sheets. Please let me know if there's anything missing. We can soon sort that out.
Sorry.
There was then a small...
Do we know what they are yet? Or do we just...
well, you've been given them.
That's fine. That's what I wanted to check. That's what I wanted to
I do
check.
have
Okay.
one missing. Mr.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
What is it?
The metallic, the Jedi training balls that Kieran gave me. But I'll just put them
Are you
in.
sure?
Unless you've called
Are
them.
you sure that's missing?
Yeah, if you're looking for Jedi
It's been
balls, then
around
you
at the
probably
start.
wouldn't have found them.
That's not the official name, I'm afraid.
I will get that sorted.
Sure.
if
They're
it's
the
not
balls of
there.
the
I'll just put metallic
long time
training
ago
balls
from
in.
a faraway galaxy called Nylon. That's what they're actually
Yeah.
called.
Just got to go check my homebrew creations now and try and figure out what the fuck
You
I
really are
called it.
struggling to speak today.
I don't know what it is.
Do you know what? I'm putting that dice away because that just rolled 2 natural ones, so that's going away
At least
right
Matt
now.
doesn't do the most
Burn
amount
it.
of talking out of all of us.
Yeah,
it's
good
fine.
job.
I've only got to narrate a whole story. It's because I've had a week
Well,
off. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
can't.
lost the groove.
I forgot how to type on a keyboard, so I won't worry about it.
Okay, so I do need to quickly sort that out, but I will do so when we have a break later. Yes, not sure why that didn't save, because I have created it. I spent a whole 2 days creating these items. Anyway, so we did the present exchange. Granted, there's one missing, I'll sort that out. There was then a small little tiny incident with a bear. A member of the party deciding to just shift.
I don't think there was
And
much
then an
decision.
encounter with a very strange fellow known only as Nick, who gave even more presents. And then we finished our episode with not 1 level up, but 2. As you can all now see, your brand new total hit points along the bottom, and we have deliberately moved everybody up to full hit points, assuming that in the aftermath of the bear attack, the bear encounter, whatever we want to call it, the bear incident, and Nick's visitation, we would assume that some healing has been done. And so we find ourselves having healed up, having returned to the house in the dead of night, the Midwinter's Festival still continuing on, but you guys choosing to get back. In getting back, Bothrid did quickly run and go and grab Dargon's shit, for want of a better term, or Dargon's gear, and has brought it back to the house. And you're all now sat around the table, early hours of the morning. I'm waiting for
It's got an image of
what are we
Bothrid
giggling
bringing
about?
back an actual bear shit.
Turd.
Is this what you want?
Oh dear. And you're now sat around the table. The fire is burning. The moon is beginning to wane now as the first light of dawn starts to creep over the horizon. It is still very cold. Winter is certainly set in. And everybody's back to full health. Dargon is now clothed once more. What are
Which
we
everyone
doing?
else is grateful for. I'm sitting there probably with a cigar lit, and yeah, I don't know whether we'll be looking particularly sheepish or not. It was just sort of more of a well, that happened sort of look.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that went way worse than I thought it was going to go.
Yeah, well, you say that for you guys hit bloody hard. You're
Yes, that's true.
I have to say, yeah, I now feel sorry for our enemies. Bloody hell.
I mean,
But-
it was kind of all hazy, to be honest, and it all went by in a bit of a blur. But that bloke did give us presents, didn't he? I did put those in my bag I'm holding. I didn't
Yeah.
imagine that.
Yeah, got this weird ass ring.
And I'll pull out my little frozen dagger and show everybody what my ice-looking knife. It's in a fancy little sheath.
I take out the 3 candles in a quill-inscribed box.
Ooh, what's in the box?
What's in the box?
Oh, the candles.
Three
are in the box.
candles. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, 3 candles.
Sorry.
Not
Not
4
4
candles.
Yes.
I bet he's.
That hurts.
I bet you're well happy with candles. It's a shame if he really was Saint Nicholas, he should have got you shitloads of incense because we all know that's your favourite thing.
That's true. I actually need to restock. It's been a while since I bought any.
I think I will add my frozen dagger to my belt because it looks fancy. So I'll have it out and on my person. He did.
Dargon, I wanted to ask you what did it feel like?
It was quite primal instinct. Unfortunately, I just knew that at that point I needed to get away. I didn't want to hurt anyone. Unfortunately, when I was then away in the woods, from my perspective, 3 guys came to a position that put me in danger. So I lashed out. Don't feel that does feel at odds to obviously what I feel now, and from the bit of reading that I heard, that hopefully was the hardest time, the worst one. But yeah, felt weird. Ander, you bloody stank. I could smell you a friggin' mile off.
I do have quite a sexy musk.
Yeah, you were putting on that lavender aftershave pretty damn hard because damn, I could real smell you.
My balls were sweaty as fuck. I was a bit worried. For your safety, but mainly for mine.
I mean, I did get a hint of salt. And I think you do need to have your electrolytes and your veg tomorrow.
And a wet wipe.
Yeah, and stop buttering your bread with a spoon.
Wash, obviously, quick wash. Do you think? Write that down, Matt. Add it to the dictionary. Do you think that from what you experienced, so it sounds like you sort of witnessed it happening, but wasn't in control of what was happening to some degree? Do you think you could learn to control it?
I think that I want to be able to control it. I have to say that the one thing I didn't say was I felt pretty powerful. And yeah, I want to be able to control it, and I think I'm going to need some help with it. I think that help's going to have to come from you, the Malt Masters, and I think that I may also meditate on it, try and ask Paylor if he can assist in any way. I hate to keep asking, but it feels like it could be good. And I think that this is something I'll just take control of my mind and my body. I think I need to gain control of my body and this curse, use it for my own good. So I think that's the plan, that's the way to go. And if I can control it, great. If I can't, Malt Masters have given me a way out.
Yeah, well, we've got time between now and the next full moon before to research, I suppose. Assuming and the next time you'll change.
I think that if I can do what we saw those kobolds doing and partly transform, if I know I can do that at will by the full moon, I think we'll have it licked. But I think there's also a chance that we just got to confirm that will mean that I have control over it.
Yeah, my only worry is now we're under the employ of the Malt Masters. They'll have us far too busy for us to dedicate enough time to the study to actually.
Well, I read quite a bit before, and I think that maybe this is more of a a practical learning that's going to happen now. I'm going to have to be in control of my own mind and body, be sure of that, and then hope that's what, sort of trial by fire, really. I've done as much reading as a Goliath can bloody do. I think now it's trusting my own instincts and willpower.
And actually, thinking back on reflection, when you ended up in the woods, did you feel drawn to that place, or did you just happen upon it? The reason I say that is because our Nicky boy said this, or there was that statue of them hands that were buried underground, and it used to be like a statue as like a...
yeah. Well, no, in particular to that particular woods, no. It was more the fact that I actually wanted to get away from civilians. There was an instinct that made me feel like I didn't want to hurt anyone. So it was get away. My initial plan before I turned was actually just get away into the house. And actually my thought was into the garden. Got that lovely garden made for Bothrid. It just seemed that my instincts were stronger than that and I needed to get further away. Would be interesting to have a look at that place, but no, I mean, there wasn't any particular significance that I am aware of. I just needed to book it.
Because with it being a homage to Rage, or whatever the statue is or was, I didn't know whether that may have drawn you in your feral state.
It may well have done. We'll need to... I think it's worth investigating, but I have to say that our few days off has been lovely. It's been required, but our friend Vraco's still out there.
Yeah.
I hope we don't get sent on a random errand now. I want to use every possible way of finding him. I realise that we may not find him, and that will frustrate me. And it may be that we simply have to wait until we get more info, but I would really like to put every effort into finding that scaly beggar.
I think we're probably enough respect from the guild for them to kind of respect that, because they want to find him as well.
Yeah, I hope so.
Powerful ally.
I also wonder whether we can potentially use Captain Swift's team to maybe put some feelers out if the Malt Masters don't already have a clue. I think we use every contact we have to try and find out what more information we can find. Has anyone seen him? Has anyone seen a bloody great dragon carrying another dragon? Kirik, maybe you can see if you can find some more information out from Vraco, if he's in a position to actually tell us if he was taken by the dragon or whether he just randomly got sent somewhere. I assume picked up by a dragon and taken somewhere, but that is a horrendous assumption that could get our friend killed.
If we have enough money or enough resources to put together, I may be able to do a little bit more and perhaps even try to check where he is.
Okay. When you say resources or money, how much do you need? Because I will get it for you right now.
We need to probably head into Mephisto and try to see if he has some sort of mirror or crystal ball or something of the like worth about 1,000 gold pieces. Needs to be quite valuable.
Okay, well, that 1,000 gold will be there.
Okay.
Bothrid has been exceptionally quiet at this point as he just studies the staff that's been given to him, which is totally white. Almost looks like snow, but solid in a form. So not ice, but actually looks like snow. It's got the texture of snow, but it is in a solid form.
Might be worth as well if we're heading to Mephisto. He might be able to identify some of these items for us that Nick has given us.
I think that's a very, very good idea.
Yes. So, is that Mephisto's first, then the Malt Masters to get on the Vraco mission, or get the blessing of the Malt Masters to help us locate Vraco, and then Mephisto's on the way out?
Well, how long does it take to get things identified? Because maybe we leave it with him, go to talk to him, go back, or or I would like to strike while the iron's hot. Meditate at the temple to see if I can get a hang of this thing before we get sent out.
Well, do you want to go to the temple while we go to Mephisto's? And
take my ring. See if he can identify it.
Take me as identify.
Kirik, I'll give you 1,000 gold as well. If you need it, it's yours.
Thank you. That's incredibly generous, Dagon.
You're too generous.
I think Ando would ever do that.
I'd have stumbled up at least a third.
Well, cough up, then,
Let's not
Ando.
remember,
Cough
I've
up.
plenty of rubies and diamonds in my time.
That is true. That is true.
Oh,
I've also kept a lot for myself, I'll be honest.
well, yeah, that sounds like a plan then. Wouldn't mind having a quick chat with a couple of the Malt Masters myself as well. Maybe there's a couple of things that we can learn from them.
Dagon,
Yes.
if you're going to the temples,
Yeah.
could you ask around for... I know you might not be comfortable with this, but could you perhaps go into the Raven Queen temple and speak to one of the representatives there? Show him this, and I'll take my holy symbol out of my neck and pass it to Dagon. Show him this and ask if they are in possession of a valuable pendant that they might have around. I would very much like to get my hands on something like that.
So you just handed me a necklace, yeah?
Yeah, my holy symbol. So
Your holy symbol, yeah.
I say to either find if they have something slightly more valuable, or if they could perhaps embellish this one.
Okay, sure. See what I can do.
Right. Bothrid,
What do you do, Bothrid?
are you all right?
Stuff pretty.
We're going to Mephisto to get the items identified. Do you want to care to learn what your staff might do?
Yes.
So it's settled.
We'll should meet at the keep.
Sounds good. Shall we sleep first?
Oh, is it
The
already
sun
daytime?
is well and
I
truly
thought this was the
peeking over the
Yeah,
horizon.
I thought this was the morning after we slept.
Okay, yeah.
I may
that's fine.
may have misunderstood
No,
that.
you've not slept. You got back to the house early hours of the morning, and you've been talking and discussing, and the sun's peeked over. So a new day begins. You are all tired. Not quite exhausted, but you are tired.
Alright, let's go do everything, then sleep. How about that?
It sounds like a plan.
Yes. We'll do that.
Okay, so 3 members of the party, well, you all head the same direction. You all head towards the temple. But then 3 members of the party branch off and head towards Mephisto's magical menagerie, as Dagon takes a hard left and enters the temple. And that's where we'll start, with Dagon entering. Where are you going first, Dagon?
Trying to get my camera in focus for a start. There we go, that's better. I'll go to the temple. I'll go to the Raven Queen section first. Find one of the priests there, if there is one.
There are numerous priests around, and as you look only one priest sort of stands out of being really anything to do with the Raven Queen. You actually see they are dressed all in black robes. They wear this white face mask. You have no idea whether it's male, female, human, elf. Doesn't look dragonborn, based on the fact you can't see any scales on the feet. And they do look sort of normal skin tone. I say normal skin tone, human or humanoid skin tone colours. But yeah, this figure sort of sits in silence on the alcove, if you want to call it that, of the Raven Queen. You can see all around the symbols of the Raven Queen in this area dedicated. It is the area where Kirik once knelt, or twice has knelt, and communed with the Raven Queen.
I will quietly walk up to them and say, pardon my intrusion. May I speak with you for a moment?
Servant of Palor, what brings you to
I believe
Raven Queens?
I believe you may know my friend Kirik, the half-orc, sorry. Migraine. The half-orc who has followed the Raven Queen for a while, I believe. Yes.
Indeed. He has communed here before.
I come on an errand from him. So I then show the necklace, which is a holy symbol, you said. He asks if you have anything more ordained in the Raven Queen symbols, or whether you are able to create this into a slightly more ornate version of itself. Is this something you might be able to help him with?
Perhaps. Did he say why he might need this?
No, and I admit I didn't probe any further, I'm afraid. I'm quite new to all of this.
So it seems. Leave the symbol. Tell your friend to come collect it.
I shall do. Thank you kindly. And I slowly walk back, feeling slightly creepified. Maybe even dog and just like just walks away.
There is a cold chill which sort of passes over you. Can't quite place it.
Sounded like a
you
sex
head
offender
over
priest
towards.
Yeah, well, he didn't move, so he didn't hear the chain on his ankle. So
you head over, before this goes completely off topic. You head over towards the area devoted to Palor, and as you step into the alcove, the warmth of sunlight, that golden glow type feeling, almost envelops you immediately. And it is welcoming, it is comforting, and it chases away the chill.
So I sit down as I did before, and sit down as I would do, and I actually have the. If you remind me, was it a pendant or wrist or something that had the symbol of the bear on it from Bothrid?
Yep. So it was it looked like it had been pressed from vines and wood and plants, but yeah, very much you could call it a totem if you like, but it is basically could be worn around the neck. You could just have it in your pocket or in your bag somewhere, but it is just a symbol of a bear claw.
So if there's a short bit of grass or something, because I think you said that in this temple there's foliage and stuff. So I'll place it on
There
the...
is a patch of grass in front of you.
So place it down on the patch of grass, sit down, meditate next to it, put my hand on the totem, call it that, and begin to meditate on being able to, with the divine assistance, control the curse that I have, and hope that it can become a benefit.
Make me a religion check, please.
Dice don't fail me now. Okay, 13.
13. You sort of close your eyes and you do enter that. It's almost like a trance state, which you find relatively easy to sink into today, whether it's the tiredness, whether it's the effects of the previous evening. You don't see anything, but you feel a familiar presence. Doesn't say anything at this point.
I'll sit there for a few moments longer. And once I feel that I've been there a while, I will get up, pick the totem up, and I shall head off to the keep.
As you open your eyes and stand and reach down to pick the totem up, some of the blades of grass have woven themselves around the actual insignia of the bear claw. But it's almost like they've dried out in the process to give this golden brown colour around the outside of the bear claw itself.
Thank you, Paylor.
And with that thanks, that familiar feeling, presence, draws away as you stand and turn and go to find your allies, who themselves have made their way through the snow and managed to get through the door, which was quite battered with snow, or sort of caked up with snow, almost blocked with all the snow that's fallen. But eventually you managed to shift the door, and you find the form of Mephisto over his counter, just
Howdy, neighbour.
Morning.
Boys. What time is it? What day is it?
It's the day after what appears to be a very heavy night of drinking, Mephisto.
Ooh, have you been joining the Midwinter Festival?
Oh, of course. Oh.
A bit too much.
Well, I have to say, whatever mulled wine they found was fantastic.
That might have been something of Bothrid's fault.
Yes.
He does
quite
have a
connoisseur.
fantastic recipe.
Fair play, Bothrid. Fair play. What can I do for you boys on this foggy morning, shall we call it?
Oh, we did want your brain power, but I'm not so sure now. Have you got a special coffee you can bring yourself round? We need you to help identify some magical items.
Give me 2 seconds. And he trots off. And then you just hear this. And he trots back, looking. That'll hit the spot temporarily. So,
Was
items identifying. Never mind.
Did you just do some marching powder?
Items. You wanted something identifying. Here to trade.
Yeah,
Here to sell.
mum's
Buy.
right.
Yeah. Pass over the box with the 3 candles.
And he looks at it. And looks at the engraving on the box first. How'd you get this?
We had a strange kind of secret neck coming around. We had a bit of an episode outside the walls. It was strange.
Ah, yes.
That sounds way more sinister than that.
How is Dargon?
Sounds like we've been molested.
Dargon is feeling better today, actually. He's going to be taking it easy, I think.
Probably for the best. Right, these... He opens the box. Candles. Not quite what I was expecting. Okay. Oh, it is early. Clicks his fingers out. Mutters some words and just holds his hand over these candles, closes his eyes, as you can just see this sort of blue sparks just almost fizzling off his fingers towards the items. Yes. Well, I've heard of them. Never come across them before. These are Scribe Candles, or more importantly, secret Scribe Candles. It is said that you can burn them. You can light one of the candles, it is said to burn with a blue flame. And if you hold parchment, a message over it, the ink is burnt off, leaving perfectly unmarked parchment. You can then extinguish the flame and light the other one, or light one of the linked candles here. That burns with an orange flame. Apparently smells a little bit like, well, a little bit like you, Ander, I guess, with the lavender. Is it perfume or aftershave? But it is said if you hold a blank bit of parchment over the orange flame, the message is transcribed. A little bit like a sending spell, I guess, but without the limitations.
And the 3rd candle?
Well, they're all, it's a set, they're linked. You basically just give them out and send messages as you see fit. Don't suppose you fancy giving me one, do you?
See. We'll see. I'm sure we might have one left for you afterwards.
Okay, well, if you ever get bored of the set, you know where I am.
Of course, we'll keep you in mind always.
Closes the lid down and sort of passes it back to you. And you can see it's almost like gold piling up behind his eyes as he looks at this set and hands it over.
The dollar signs are just rolling on his eyes.
Pretty much dollar signs. Or pound symbols, depending on where you're from.
Yeah.
Euros.
Can't think of any other currencies.
Gold.
Yen, gold, yeah.
Arthur, do you want to? Did you want to go next?
Oh, yes. Stuff. Look like snow. Not snow. Not melt. Well, it's cold. Not shaped like snow. Look. Mephisto sort of looks bleary-eyed, totally. Yes. Okay. And again, he sort of holds his hand out. Blue sparks come out. Wow, Bothrid. You are certainly lucky. Not only a quarterstaff of rare making, but now a magical staff of very rare making. I've heard of only 2 of these. It is the staff of the 4 seasons, or one of the staffs of the 4 seasons. It changes with the seasons, or you can change it yourself, depending on the season. It can allow you to cast certain spells. Probably worth you spending some time understanding these. It also can be used as a weapon. In its current form, I do believe it will deal cold damage, but who is to say that different types of wound infliction damage will be caused in other seasons? It's not what is the word? You can't use it continually. Oof, that wine. It's not an infinite use, shall we say.
What, the wine?
Cast too many spells, then it will, it'll probably cease to exist.
Oh.
Yes. Say again,
Is there a set
and
is there a set number, or I know we have some items that have some rechargeable properties. Be interesting to know.
yeah, it will regain abilities over time, but my guess, from what I can tell, you probably have about 10 chances. But perhaps some of those spells will burn more of the energy, shall we say.
That seems very useful.
Bothrid at this point is... Bothrid is there sort of like... Colour staff makes spell. Okay. I can do that. He sort of turns and starts...
This will go very well.
Turns it upside down.
Very good.
Figures out which way it goes and sort of just holds it.
That's what we
Like
said
a
about
weird
you getting
Gandalf-type
fireballs
character.
under.
Hey, I might have sprung some money in Mephisto's yet. We don't know. So I actually have 2 items for you. One for me and one on behalf of Dargon. So I'll give you my item first. I'll hand over the dagger. Mid sheath.
Interesting. Now this I have seen before. Or something like it. The blade made of pure ice. Instead of your usual stab type attack, I suppose it kind of obviously leaves a little bit of a chill. It's a dangerous weapon. Dargon blacks out from too much mulled wine and bear influence. Sure, I'll be back in a minute.
So I'm just messing about.
Interestingly enough, from what I understand of this, if you get it just right, you can actually freeze somebody with this. Paralyze them.
Oh no.
Ooh. Fancy.
Be careful where you
I've got to be brave enough to get close enough. So just to clarify, this dagger won't curse me in any way. It won't make me want to stab people I don't want to stab. It's not going to try and freeze me.
I sense no otherworldly presence in it. It is
Okay.
simply a magic dagger. Just be careful where you stick the pointy end, eh?
My ex-wife told me that. Hence why she's
Which
my
one?
ex-wife.
Which one?
The third one. I was poking my soon-to-be fourth wife.
Cannon.
The point at the end. Let's write that down.
All backstory.
Yeah.
And the second item you had?
Oh, yes.
For
yes.
Dargon, did you say?
I'll hand you Dargon's ring.
Most ominous sounding phrase we've had.
But I think I can say it fine, but just the second you say it, I'm just like.
Because we are mature.
And Mephisto
adults.
picks up this ring and sort of turns it over, and he sees the inscribing of a snowflake on it, and the ring itself is blue. Sure, it's not just a proposal from this Nick.
It could well be. I did get a pervert vibe from him. To be fair.
He places it back on the counter, places his hand over it, closes his eyes. Well, there's no mere ring. It's made of almost pure elemental ice. From what I can gather,
To know what that means.
when Dogon wears this, he could use its protection to put up a very physical wall. Pretty much around himself. Interesting.
Nice.
That's cool.
Seems only, as he sort of focuses in on the magic a little bit more. Yes, I'd use it sparingly. Once it's used, it's useless until dawn.
Okay.
Is that it then, boys?
Not quite. I was looking to buy something from you if you had it available.
Now this is music to my ears.
I thought
And
you might like
I'm
that.
glad. I was running out of energy there.
Good.
What can I get for you?
Trying to figure out if you have some sort of crystal ball or even a mirror of some kind. Mirror of some kind. Has to be
Just a
slightly pricey. We're looking around 1,000 gold.
wanting to stare at yourself longingly, or is this a gift for Ander?
Let's say a little bit of both for now.
Oh,
Very well, I will.
I do like presents.
I will see what I have. Anything else while I'm looking in the back, so to speak?
I mean,
if you have
there's
any
always
more-
loads of things I want from you.
If you have any more incense, that would be greatly appreciated.
Incense, that I now have quite a bit just stored under the counter here. I'll grab it on the way back. And he trots off again. And as he trots off, the door opens and in walks Dargon the Brave.
Right, fellas.
Hello. While Mephisto is in the back, I will fill Dargon on what he said about his magical finger bracelet.
God blimey, that's bloody useful. I'll be a bit of good. Did he say anything about me having to... can't find another word of saying a tune to it.
Not the word of tune. Actually, no, he didn't. He just said
Didn't mention it.
he'd offer you protection. He didn't say you'd need to become familiar with its properties or anything.
Good. Good out. Very lovely.
And at this point you hear the sound of hooves return As Mephisto returns to the counter. Welcome, Dargon. Rough night.
Welcome.
You still got a bed special.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, apologies if it gave anyone a scare. Always a bit of fun.
Only a few villagers, from what I understand, and nothing that the Malt Masters weren't able to quell.
Good out.
Your boys and your adventures, eh?
Purchase something from you. But I don't know what it is. So if I tell you what I want, I'm sure you will tell me whether it's possible or not. Just thinking out loud. I consider myself a charming man, but others sometimes see me as an acquired taste. As I want to delve more into talking my way out of trouble potentially, or tripping my enemies up with my words, I wonder if have you got anything that can make me permanently more charming, more charismatic? Preferably, I don't need to attune to.
I cannot think of anything immediately, but leave it with me. I will see what I can acquire, craft, engineer. It's not going to be cheap, mind you. Anyway, Kirik, he puts 2 items on the desk. One is a perfectly spherical, unblemished crystal ball, for want of a better term. The second is a mirror surrounded by silver with a small little handle attached. It looks very much like a lady's makeup mirror, for want of a better term. But it is very finely crafted. The silver is intricately carved and fashioned around this mirror. This fit the bill?
I believe so. If you said it is worth the amount it is worth, then certainly. I've never been disappointed by one of your products, so I'm sure this won't be the first time.
Well, how much are you willing to spend?
Around 1,000 gold.
Yes, I can let either of these go for that. That ball there is once belonged to a night hag, would you believe?
But it doesn't still have any properties from the previous owner, correct?
Oh no, when she died, all of the magic went with her, shall we say. She's just used it as a tool. Interesting, old bird, but rather difficult to kill.
Insight check.
Roll me an insight check.
Just because now I've got a +9, so you know.
As I know,
34.
All my character sheets.
That's a 19.
And 19. Who am I looking for? Where's he gone? M. No,
Did he kill her? That's my question.
So what did you roll?
I rolled a 19.
A 19. Bear with me. Doo-doo-doo. There's a small hint of a lie.
Cool. Nice.
There's some truth, but certainly not the whole truth there.
Okay.
Excuse me.
I kind of smile at him, and then I'll place 1,000 on the table, and then I'll place another let's say 300 for incense.
And he sort of bends down, collects it all up, puts it on the counter. So, something to make this one more charming, and just these items. Anything else?
If you have any potions, we're always looking for those of healing.
That's a good shout. Yeah, that's a very good idea. We're going to go on a rescue mission, so it could go both.
Let's not forget the identification services as well, boys.
Of course.
So we'll call 200 gold. Seems that you boys.
50 each. That's what it is. As I look at Ander, for him to pay his 50.
What do I need to pay?
Or if he wants to haggle.
Alright. See, this Mephisto, he's a good friend.
At this point, Bothrid sits and goes, Did Malt Masters not say we, well, you, what is it, lefties?
That's a good point. I kind of look at and...
Only DM tip you're getting tonight.
Does that mean we get like is it like a Costco card? We get
Maybe.
Discounts.
What is your hobgoblin friend here alluding to?
We are lieutenants of the Malt Masters now.
Bollocks.
I show him my arm.
I've got 3 stripes on my shoulder.
Fuck.
Buy me a drink first.
The identification services are free then.
Nice.
A pleasure doing business then.
Oh, gonna have to have words with those malt masters.
Oh, we still buy plenty from you.
This is true.
I'm sure I'll be back to buy some more.
Potions, was it?
Yes.
Please.
Anything in particular?
Of the healing kind would be good.
Yeah, I'd like a super duper one, please.
Just the healing. Okay, let me go see what I have.
My equipment list is so unwieldy big right now.
I hope to get it down shortly.
Well,
I can't. Mine is all bloody components for spells.
mine's all the random jewels I can't pronounce from the dragon's chest.
Yeah.
So Mephisto returns once again with a crate, but there are items piled up and sort of bottles piled up on top of the crate as well. He sort of places the crate down, and it comes with these sort of slightly bigger bottles, which you are used to and you understand being just sort of the standard potions of healing. There are 4 smaller bottles, which you would understand to be potions of greater healing, and then there is 1 tiny bottle. There is a clearish red liquid that, as it moves, you see tiny bubbles of light appearing within it.
What's that little one then, Mephisto?
Yes, thought that might catch your eye. This is what's known as an elixir of health.
Sold.
It's,
Let's hear the man out first.
yes, perhaps it would be pertinent. It's doesn't heal you per se, will not close wounds, but it will cure diseases It will prevent blindness, prevent poison. It's even known to cure paralysis, just in case you do poke the pointy end of that dagger anywhere.
So what you're saying is we can drink this and then have one hell of a night, and we'll be fine on the following day.
Perhaps. Bear with me just a second. I need one of my books.
Or we could save it for when we find ourselves in a tight corridor again.
And the Dagon's frozen in front of us. Yeah.
Yes, but I also happen to know from that picture you sent us somehow that you might have something that would sort that now.
Yes, it's my only 5th level spell slot.
What did I miss?
Oh, we're just talking about the fact that I know that Samal's got a choice of his 1 5th level spell that would also help me if I happen to be paralysed in the corridor again.
That's true.
Pick wisely out of that list.
I, as a man who has been poisoned and as Dagon has been paralysed before, this seems like something I would definitely want to purchase.
It doesn't feel like foreshadowing at all.
I'm not jinxing it, I'm being prepared.
That's the one.
Although Mephisto only seems to offer us up things we're going to use in the next couple of episodes, so I'm assuming I'll need it.
As I say, the trouble is, it's like, alright Mephisto, all of this loveliness, but what's the price tag?
Well, seeing as you are now lieutenants, I suppose I should offer some kind of discounts. That one right there you can have for 100 gold pieces.
God blimey.
It will only work once, and it will only work on one of you. It is quite rare. Takes some effort to create.
God blimey, well, which one of us wants it? Good lord.
If you don't mind, I shall purchase the elixir of health.
That does mean that it's most likely you not using it. You realise that, yeah?
I'll tell you where I put it. I'll put it in my bag so you know where it is when you need to put it on me.
Alright. Yeah. And it's shove it right up the
Yeah, is it an oral medication or is it a suppository?
Well, I'm sure I'll find out.
So
They don't have any. They don't have any of that in the the player's handbook, do you?
instead of 100 gold, can I offer you something worth 100 gold?
Well, that very much depends on what it is.
This lovely sardonyx gem.
That's not worth 100 gold.
I've got 2 of them.
Keep going.
I have it. All right. I have it on good authority. That is, 2 of them are worth 100 gold. I know a guy called DD Beyond, and he told me it's worth 100 gold.
Sardonyx is...
I've got money then, you brother.
I've assumed that the Bureau de Change hasn't quite met Nylan yet.
No, the exchange rate in your shop is shocking. Get a better rate at Sainsbury's.
Centaur's got to make a
And
profit.
at this point he chuckles and he says, "Well, I have little use of it. The sardonyx will do. I'm sure I can sell it on."
Good. And how about you?
Perhaps I will use it in your new item.
Yeah. A charismatic sardonic brooch, butt plug, something like that.
You wish to wear it in
superior. How many
Okay.
superior, greater / potions of healing do we want, everyone?
How many
So
you got?
there's probably 10 potions of normal healing, and it looks like there's 4 bottles of the superior healing.
Well, when the DM gives it you, buy them. So, greater. How much is each one?
Well, the normal, larger, standard potions of healing for you guys, we'll say 30 gold apiece,
Good lord.
300 gold for the lot. The superiors, 400 each.
Ooh-wee.
Took me a while
Still
to get
take 2.
those.
I'll take 2.
Okay. So 800 for the superiors. Is anybody taking the 10?
I'll take the 10 greater. I'll hand them out.
Okay,
Mine.
so that's good.
Okay, now. We're not,
There's no,
not a little
it's not greater.
pessimistic.
It's just
Oh, they stand.
It's
Standard.
just normal
Sorry,
potions of
yeah.
heal. Standard. So 300 gold for the potions of healing.
So I thought you had greater ones. as well.
800 for the superiors.
Yeah.
And, as I say, 100 for the elixir.
Nice.
Paid up?
Money. Yep.
A pleasure as always, gentlemen.
Well, Mephisto, I'm officially skint. It always seems to happen when I leave your store.
And I am sufficiently satisfied with such. However, Bothrid, if you're going to be brewing any more of that wine, send a barrel my way. I'll give you good gold for it.
We'll make sure he does. There you go, Bothrid. Everyone loves it.
Bothrid just sort of turns.
Okay then, boys. Shall we go and discuss some dealings with the Malt Masters? I myself would be keen to see if I can learn learn a thing or two from them, as well as
Yes.
maybe gather some information about Vraco. Kirik, if you can do the same, maybe we can find out what we're going to do.
How long should I return for my special item?
I will send word if I manage to figure it out.
Good man.
You best bring some coin, though, boy.
Oh, I've got plenty of coin.
Oh, don't tell him
Plenty
that,
of
you.
other gemstones.
I should hope so
He knows
too.
I've got plenty of coin. So we spend it here.
Well, Mephisto, a pleasure as always, and we'll see you soon.
The pleasure, as
you
always,
very much,
gentlemen, is
Mephisto.
mine. Hope to see you again soon, and a happy midwinters for what it was.
Alright,
Yes.
And to you.
Certainly one of my better midwinters.
strangely,
Mm.
not my worst. I shall walk out to the snow.
Excellent. So you all enter out into the snow, and the sun is up, and the snow is glistening as that sunlight hits. It's not melting, it is still quite cold up this mountain. There are quite a few drunk people in the courtyard. People still drinking from what's left of the barrels. There's people falling asleep. You can actually see the Cooper on the raised dais, whatever you want to call it, sat in his throne, asleep, hand on his great axe, another hand on a bottle.
Come to think of it, guys, maybe we need to go have a sleep ourselves and wait for this rabble to
Yeah.
become in a better state.
I mean, I know the Cooper can put it away, but I think we should wait until they're all.
The only thing I would
we
say
should-
is, do we need to carry him back inside?
Nah.
Seems to be alright where he
Make a
is.
perception check, please.
Ooh, unnatural 20.
Likewise.
I got an actual 20, so 28.
All of you now pay attention, and you see a distinct ring of guards around the dais. There is nobody getting close to the Cooper without going past a guard.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah,
Let's go and have some sleep.
So you'll head back to the house.
Yep.
Trudge away upstairs. Bothrid, before heading upstairs, disappears out into the garden. Disappears out there for a good 10-15 minutes before coming back in, going upstairs, and you hear the door shut in his room. A couple of minutes later, you then just hear the sort of soft snoring of the hobgoblin as he finally takes some rest.
As do I.
Dargon goes,
To wind down a little bit, I want to spend a couple of minutes having a flip through my Book of Songs that Johannes gave me because I haven't had a chance to actually look at it really.
didn't quite get that, mate. Your mic's gone a bit funny.
Oh,
It's like conference call bingo. That's better.
So I was probably just talking to Doug Diddley quiet. So I said, before I go to bed, I would like to have actually a little bit of a flick through the Book of Songs that Johannes gave me because I haven't actually had a chance to look at it yet in the midst of all the madness.
Cool. And you do flick through said Book of Songs, and there is quite a collection of songs in here. And then as you sort of read the inscription on the inside, you understand that it says the Book of Song, 4th edition, and there's a number of different inscriptions in there. It seems to be quite a common book, and it is a book of the most well-known and most favoured songs and melodies in Nylon. And a small little sort of note from Johannes on the inside reads, "Saw this among other bards in the land. Figured it would be useful. Those without it don't seem too good." And it's just signed Johannes. As you flick through, you know it's going to take some time to read, to learn and understand all these songs. But as it says in the item there, which you have been given, once you read and understand, you'll get a permanent +1 bonus to your performance checks. And to put a number on it, it's going to take about 100 hours worth of reading and learning, because you not only have to read the songs, you have to learn them.
Fucking hell. I'm too excited to start now, so I'll just put my head down.
That is not to say you can't learn one and get certain DM's advantages.
Likewise, I'll spend some time looking at the Book of the Raven Queen and the temples. I assume it's similar mechanics to it.
Pretty
But
much.
eventually I'll go to sleep. Yep.
Yeah, you notice as you flick through that there's, on one side of every double page spread is a map, and on the other side is a description. And each map points to a particular temple, describes the temple, but also describes some nuances or mysteries with some of the temples as well. It's going to take you a similar amount of time to really digest that information. But in doing so, you will get a permanent, and I think I've made a mistake in that item. It should be a permanent +1 bonus to religion checks. It just says a permanent bonus to religion checks. Although, when you equip it...
Yeah. Just before I go to sleep, could I have a look and see which one is the closest temple to where we are, apart from the one, obviously, in the keep?
Absolutely. So as you flick through, there's a few city names that creep out at you. You see Eticus, Idril, Mantinir mentioned, but also Telma. And although you have not been there, you know that is one of the first villages that was visited by your comrades when they landed in Nylin.
Cool. Is that to the south of where we are?
That is to the southeast of the Montmaster's Keep.
Cool.
But you also notice that in pretty much all of the major cities or major towns, there is a temple to the Raven Queen.
Nice. Awesome. I will eventually take off my armor and head to sleep.
Cool. So you all rest, get a long night and days worth of rest, as we all wounds heal, all conditions disappear, any lingering hangovers disappear as well, and you wake up the next morning feeling refreshed, rejuvenated, distinct smell of bacon on the air once more as Bothrid, as always, is up. He has been in the garden, he's got some bacon going. He's not doing the spiced wine this morning, having seen how it affected a number of the residents, but instead has some herbal tea on the go.
I shall gather up. The smell of bacon wakes me up. I shall pack all my things together, get all my gear on, and go down to meet my man Bothrid. Good morning, old friend.
As you go down, you notice that Bothrid actually has a book open.
I didn't know you could read.
It's a recipe book.
The one I got you.
Yes.
Oh, I'm touched. Anything good?
We'll try the tea.
Oh, okay. Fucking hell, it's hot. Could have warned me. I can't taste anything now. Burn your tongue.
Freshly brewed.
That's revenge for the first coffee I ever gave you, isn't it? Taking a little sip. Oh, it's very earthy.
Do take a sip. It is very earthy, and you do get sort of different herbs coming through, but it is quite pleasant.
Oh, okay.
Leaves a bit of a oily residue at the back of your throat, but generally pretty good.
What is in this?
Don't know names. Use pictures. And he holds up the book, and you can see there's pictures of various plants. And he's basically been out in the garden and found those that match or look somewhat close to it, and has just pulled them off.
Yeah, I thought I could taste that one in the middle.
What, poison ivy?
Yeah. I'm quite good at plants. If I'm proficient with herbalism, Kit, that means I know my horticulture, right?
It's true.
Would you like to make a check?
Yeah. I know what these plants are in this drink, I think.
Make me an intelligence check and add your proficiency bonus, please.
Okay. Here we go. Cock. 14's not too bad.
14's good. You recognise these plants, one of which is ginseng, which should be the main component. That is not the flavour that you're getting. You are getting, despite it still being herby, there is a strong flavour of some sort of wild weed. Not weed as in weed, but a wild weed of some sort. Yeah, that sort of thing.
I hate to break it to you, Bothrid. I mean, it's nice. It's an all right cup of tea, but I don't believe this the ginseng you think it is. It looks a bit like it, not quite though.
You know plants. You teach me.
Ooh, okay. If we spot some wild ginseng, I'll let you know.
Okay.
We can stick it in tea. Yeah.
Make better tea.
At this point, Dargan will actually come in from outdoors, woke up early, and looks like he has been working pretty hard.
You don't have to shit in the woods anymore. Now you're back to being human.
Oh, I wish you'd have told me that first, Ander. Bloody hell. There's me thinking I've got to set me routines now. No, I was up bright and early and decided to get a bit fitter, start running around. It's gonna help with all the stuff we're gonna be doing. We're gonna have to be doing a lot of running, a lot of eating things. So yeah, just trying to get a bit fitter now. Oh blimey, that bacon smells good.
Well, maybe you should not have any and just lay off the red meat then if you're trying to be healthier.
You do love your jokes, right? Push over, will you? Sit down next to you.
Try some of this tea, it's great.
Oh, I shall.
At this point, Kirik comes down, and you can see that my arm. There's something kind of like different about Kirik, but it's like hard to pinpoint. Maybe like his armor seems to fit him slightly better. Seems like he's been just like had like actually found out how to take best use of the armor that he's wearing. So it just seems to fit him slightly better. It's not like anything too weird, but yeah, just here and there. Comes downstairs. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are we all doing?
Yeah.
That sounds lovely. That smells lovely.
Tea, but Under told me tea wrong.
Tastes alright to me.
There's such thing as wrong tea.
Well, I don't know.
Places some tea in front of you.
Some rough teas in my time.
So
again, it's all right. There's a weird flavour to it, but goes down. Bit of an oily residue again, back of your throat. But
Kirik, I've been meaning to ask. Obviously, gave you the money because you said you could help find Vraco potentially. Not that I care, but is that like a one-off thing that we can do, or will that continue to help us find him until we've found him?
As long as, well, I can probably only do it once a day, and if I do it, it means I can't do other things. But
okay,
it seems to be useful so far, so it's definitely something to keep an eye out. I could actually try to attempt to do it now, and then we go to the Malt Masters with some information if we wanted to.
I think if we want some information from them, and seeing as we are getting on better with them, maybe if we can get information and simply present a possible solution instead of just a problem. That always helps.
Yes. So it will hopefully prevent any goose chase they may send us on.
Quite. And I do want to speak to Captain Swift.
Okay.
I feel like you say that
by
every
magic,
week.
there is a
Come
at the
in.
door.
I'm glad you come to us because we always forget to go to her.
Third
The door
episode in a row.
opens. Well, you bastards are hard to nail down.
Ah, Captain Swift, my apologies. Please come in.
Have some
She takes
tea
off her
and some
hat.
bacon.
We have tea and bacon.
Hangs up on the door.
So,
I'll pass on the tea, but I'll take some bacon. So, stop at a waterfall, you said. Head to a tavern, you said. Me and my boys have been waiting some time.
You have been. We're ever so grateful. Look, it has not exactly gone a plan.
That's certainly saying something.
Yeah. Well, I don't know whether you know, but there is a great undead dragon flying around, causing some real havoc, and we almost didn't make it back from it.
And
Yeah, no
Dargon
shit.
is now a bear.
Well, you don't have to
That
tell everyone,
I
Ander.
also heard.
Yeah. Look, I know that you may well have been better off on the seas, or maybe you weren't. I don't know. Those are some rough seas. I am glad that you got up to the tavern, and I am glad that you're safe. Things are a lot worse than we thought it was going to be, but this is going to be a long haul. Now, I don't know whether you guys are any good sticking around here, but we have got someone who's missing. And if you've got anyone who's good at, getting the feelers out, we might be able to help. And we know that is asking a lot.
Say, fortune favours the brave. We've struck a deal with your malt masters, as they call themselves.
Like
I don't
Santa.
think there's any other whiskies just yet. But they paid us for services. Getting you safely there and back. Getting here safely. It turns out one of them is a craftsman. I can't remember the exact term he called himself, but doing some work on our ship.
Oh, very
With a
good.
balloon.
I like.
So we can fly.
I have no fucking idea.
I'm surprised you let anyone touch that amazing ship.
Well, he was very convincing.
That they can be.
And they let us stay here for free.
Then I'm ever so grateful to them and
that's
you
that.
for sticking around.
I mean, I'm for one, I'm
We said
excited
we would.
to have a ride in an airship. I've only heard of them in stories.
Glad you have. Got to figure out how to.
We had them in
Steer
the
the
other
thing.
place before we landed in Ireland.
I was about to say, we aren't officially from around here if you hadn't guessed.
Yes.
So, yeah, well, lots happening. Is he still working on it? I assume that's going to take quite a while to make the changes.
Oh well, he's not working on it. Apparently, it's far too important. A bit of an arrogant bastard, if you ask me. But he drew up the plans, and there are people working at the crew themselves have helped out as well.
Are they making it there and back to the ship all right? Nasty weather out there.
Oh yeah, it's a relatively simple journey.
Good out. Well, it sounds very prosperous.
There's a path through the falls.
So,
So
go on, Ander.
I just think we are about to go on a rescue mission. Once we find out where we think Vrayevko is, we might need use of your new form of transportation, depending on the location of our fallen friend.
Draco, he was the He was the blue one, wasn't he? Scaly
Yes.
fellow.
He was.
Did you take him over to the island?
Oh, no. We were far in the lock at that point.
Ah. Yeah. He apparently went over to the island and yeah, it was as bad as when we left it, if not worse, unfortunately. Which was a shame to hear.
From what I'm told, it is totally overrun now.
Yes.
Greenflower.
That was the one, Greenflower. I hope the rest of the towns and villages are alright. We didn't really get a chance to see them.
Well, from what I hear of those in Seameat, the light from the south of the island that appeared when you left still shines.
Blimey. Yeah. I think that's from the place we visited, and I hope it's a good sign.
Only you will
We
know
can only
that.
hope.
Who did you meet there?
I don't know whether you'll believe us.
Come now. We've travelled the seas together. We fought krakens. You
He was a
brought us
servant
to this
of a
shithole.
god and a, if I understand it correctly, fallen angel.
Bollocks, Dargon. Alright, if you don't want to tell me, don't tell me. It's fine. I'm sure.
That's
I'll get
why
it
I
out of you
didn't
later.
say you wouldn't believe me. So anyway, look, where can we find you? Because as soon as we know where Vraco is, we want to go find him. Is that something you're up for?
Oh, we're holed up in one of the inns just outside of the gatehouse. I think Carstan's pretty much arm wrestled most of the village at this point, apart from the kids. Although I think he's probably getting around to arm wrestling the kids next.
He's close to touching the kids. Brilliant.
Well, look, if he wants a fair fight, all he has to do is ask.
I'll be sure to tell him that.
Don't tell him what I said about the kids, though.
Yes. Not scared of him, are you, Ander? He's like a big teddy
No,
bear.
just-
Well, the guy who can shoot you from hundreds of feet away.
yeah, the same way that Dargon's really approachable.
Oh, I'm a friendly teddy bear, you know that.
She chuckles a bit.
So,
Well, boys, let's not leave it so long next time.
Indeed.
that's Dargon's fault.
Perhaps we can talk later in the week, maybe?
I think that's a good idea.
Absolutely.
And hopefully we can ask the Malt Masters to accelerate whatever they're doing to your ship, if possible.
Especially as the fact that we have plans to go speak to them shortly and advance this rescue mission.
So you say rescue mission. Do you know where he is yet?
I haven't got a Scooby.
We will in about half an hour.
We hope.
Rather sure of that. Well, sounds like all your plans, but good luck. I'll
Oh
speak to
yeah,
you-
best
speak to you
laid and
in a
all
few
them.
days.
Yeah, speak to you soon.
Okay. And she lifts the hat, bows, places it back on.
Your
Till next
servant.
time, boys. Dances
Next
out
time,
the door.
Captain Swift.
And then I'll turn to the group and I'll say, I told you we should have gone to see her ages ago.
Yeah, we had bigger problems in our hands, I think.
I know. I've reminded you every week for at least a month.
Yeah, you did.
Inside check.
It got to the point where
I was just
was
gonna-
like, I'm fed up with them fucking going on there. I'm just gonna put her in. Just gonna turn up there.
We're terrible. We're terrible.
Right.
Airship, though. Sorry, you do your ritual thing.
An airship could be interesting. slightly terrifying, but you know.
I'm sure that nothing will go wrong if we happen to come across a white dragon.
Yeah, I mean, it's only a flying target for a.
It's absolutely fine. I mean, I fall so slowly. I really do, like a meteor.
I mean, it was a big enough fall from the lighthouse.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, that's true. I think my back still isn't right after that.
Well, no, you seem to be standing pretty firm in your armour. You're looking pretty good today, I would say.
Yeah, I think you just slept real well,
thank
Kieran.
you. Yeah, I've been spending some time in the spending some time in the arena, in the quarters, training with some of the guards. They've been
Nice.
showing me the ropes with some elements.
While I remember, Kieran, that charming priest at the Raven Queen temple did say that you should head back at some point, and he'll have sorted something out for you. I fear I was particularly unhelpful when I was actually trying to get him to do something, so I hope it was right. But me words not very good, and he was just a bit.
I probably should have warned you beforehand in hindsight.
Yeah,
I'm sorry about that.
that's all right.
I fear what you asked is not what you wanted is not what Dargon asked for.
I was about to say. I mean, you know, I consider myself as a particularly approachable person, but that particular person wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
That was a joke, by the way.
I'm sure it'll be right. Great. So in that case, I will kind of take the mirror out, place it on the table, and I'll say, "This is the first time I'm doing this, so I don't know what's going to happen to my body whilst I'm here. If I start falling off the chair, someone just grab me."
I'll do.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
I then stand behind the chair and just sort of, you know, get ready to catch. It's not going to be violent, is it? Do I need to like step back a bit?
No idea.
I feel totally confident with everything you're doing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised you didn't shout insight check then.
Good luck.
Nah. I will place kind of both my hands across the sides of the mirror, and I will see kind of my face, and then I will try to remember kind of what Vraco looks like in my mind, to try and change the face in the mirror to Vraco's, and I'm going to cast Scrying on Vraco.
And so we get to the fact we've all leveled up.
Yeah.
And we have new tools to play with.
Are you ready to have all the
means I
NPCs
have
ready
to go
at
and
any
look.
given time now?
Bum, bum, bum. So you focus in on Vraco, and you see not his face, but part of his face, the rest covered in a dirty, ripped, torn hood. And he looks up. And as you look up, or as he looks up, sort of into the mirror, into your eyes, there is just a whisper. Kirik. And then the image zooms, or sort of pulls back, draws out. You see this dusty, dingy, mossy, spider web ridden cell. And then it draws back further again, and you see a castle. But it is near on destroyed. For the next bit, I need you to make me a wisdom check, but add your proficiency bonus to it, please.
Okay. 22.
22. It draws out again. And yes, I'm totally tailoring this spell effects to my own purposes right now.
Yes, but we love it.
Yeah, the
The castle itself sits on land which is totally barren. And from this bird's eye aerial view, you see dead trees, you see no animals, but you do see creatures of some sort crawling around the outside of the castle, over it. And you yourself get the sense of death.
This doesn't look like Ironforge, right?
Not in the slightest.
Okay, cool. Sense of death, yeah.
There are no fires burning. The land is almost ashen. And then you zoom back in to where Kirik is.
You mean Vraco?
Yep, Vraco. I know what I meant. And all you can hear now from within the cell is wind sort of blowing through, but then there are just these sort of snarls, snaps, and growls.
Am I able to identify like what creatures might make those sounds at all? Stretching it.
Maybe nature check at disadvantage, please.
Nature check at disadvantage, roger that. Oh, I rolled 2 19s.
Nice. Fuck you, Matt.
Says an ethereal voice.
Oh my god. That's beautiful.
It sounds like the sounds that ravenous undead creatures usually make. You have heard similar sounds come out of things like ghouls before, having dealt with them in the past.
Cool. Does Vraco look? Geez, how does the spell work? How long do I have? 10 minutes. Does Vraco look
10 minutes.
alive? Not alive, but like well, or look like he's at death's door?
He's alive. Doesn't look like he's on death's door, but you can see from underneath the hood there is a black eye, if you can sort of figure out how that works on a blue scale dragonborn. A purple eye, if you like. There are cuts on his face. His face actually looks drawn, sort of not quite emaciated yet, but he certainly looks as if he's undergone some torment.
Cool.
What you do not see around him is his usual armor or any of his equipment.
Yeah. I'll just give like a last look around, see if there's any kind of identifiable symbols or anything, or even like where.
Make me a perception check, please.
Another thing I would look for is if there's like a window through the cell where the sun is. That might tell us where. Sorry, you said perception check.
Yeah, perception check, please.
23. No, sorry, 19.
19. Cool. So there is... You could call it a window, although it is half destroyed. And actually, now you pay attention to this cell, it's half destroyed. It's almost like Vraco could walk out of here if he wanted to. You don't see the sun out of the window. However, you do, as you look out, see the shadow of the castle just cast out beyond, almost in a straight line from this window. And you also see the sea.
Okay. Is the sea like beyond the castle? So looking out the window?
Yes, so you've got, as you look out the window, the sea is there. There is a significant amount of ground, again, ashen, very grey, very dead, some gnarled trees. There is a flash of something that runs past, and then you see the sea beyond. And looking into the distance, it's almost like the sea disappears into this great fog.
Okay. Cool. I'll give one last look at Vraco, make sure he's alright as alright can be, and then I'll kind of feel myself being pulled back into where I am.
Cool.
Was not looking at the map.
No, of course I wasn't.
Metagamer! Cool. I'll kind of like come back, whatever state I was in.
Catch you if you fall. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you're sort of holding on to him at this point, as the mirror is held in some way. Kirik's arm's locked in position, and the mirror is facing him, but his eyes have sort of frosted over, and he's sort of slumped to the side slightly, and you've just kind of caught him, Dargon. You're almost cradling him, just to keep him in a position where he doesn't hurt himself, but you can feel the tension in that arm holding the mirror.
And I've turned to Under like, hey, this is really weird. I mean, it's just his bloody face in the mirror. It's literally nothing. I mean, this is the weirdest thing.
He must have gone somewhere in his mind. He must have.
I know, but I've never seen him do this before. This is bizarre.
As at this point, I'll kind of like snap out of it, figure out that I'm like holding the mirror, being cradled by the dog, and I say, "I'm back, I think."
You sure? Can I let go? You're not going to fall over the floor, are you?
No, and I'll kind of sit back up.
All right. Look at that. Well, that was quite interesting. What on earth happened? All I could see was your face in the mirror.
It was strange. I saw Vraco.
Yeah. He's alive then.
Yeah, and he seemed to know that I was looking for him. That I was looking at him.
At least he knows that we're looking for him.
Yeah, he's in a cell, a half destroyed castle, in an ashen ground.
Oh God, you don't think the Black City, do you, Ander? Do you remember we were told about it? Well, sorry, Kirik, carry on. What else did you see?
Sorry, yes.
As you do that, I pull out the map, put it on the table.
What else did you see?
It was surrounded by dead trees and surrounded by death, really. Near the sea, a little bit like Ironforge, but perhaps even more bare.
Okay, wait. I mean, okay. Did you see any snow? Because as far as we know, they said the dragon went north. Was there any snow?
I didn't see any snow. I saw the sea and I saw fog.
The sea.
I will point to my man. I will point to Isle of the Dead at the bottom right of the map.
As you do that.
Oh, nearly.
If I recall, we were told that island down there, no one ever came back from. We were warned we would never make it away.
They said the same about Ironforge, did they not?
You have a good point. Oh dear.
Plus, though, with an airship, all we need to, granted, once it's finished, all we have to do is fly over and see if it looks like Kirik's vision. If it doesn't, we don't even have to land.
Well,
or
I mean,
just with you saying that,
before you say that, yeah, I mean, was there anything else that could?
Draco didn't have any. He only had a hood. He didn't have any of his equipment on him. There was sound of wind, and he seemed like he's been suddenly tormented, perhaps even tortured. But it was.
Well, look, is there any reason why it couldn't be any of the other places on the coast? You saying that you could see the sea pretty much rules out the Black City.
Yes.
But what about any other place?
And with it being desolate and almost ash or burnt and barren, I don't think it'd be the ones near the Failure Forest, because they should have a lot of fertile land, surely.
I agree.
Yeah.
River's End? No, that's too much of a built-up place.
Did it look like it could be River's End?
That twigs something in my memory, and I'll just search in my bag of holding. Now you've said River's End. Thinking of River's End, and I'll pull out of my bag of holding because I've just read it in my notes. Can you tell? I actually have this in relation to River's End. Sorry, it's a bit of a tangent, boys. And I roll it out, and apparently I have the deeds to some land in River's End.
Yes, and said deed reads something as follows: whosoever holds this title be granted palace. A little bit of a smudge. A bit more of a smudge. Bequesteth by Lord Alronth the Third. More of the smudge. And at the bottom there is a signature. And underneath the signature it says Squire of the Lord of River's End. And there is could be a date at the bottom, but again, something of a smudge.
So with it, that's actually probably a bit of a clue that it's not River's End. If there's fully fledged palace and land for me to claim, I don't think it'd be barren, filled with ash and ruins, and a ruined castle, would it?
Did you see anything else? Any other creatures, humans, anyone guarding him?
No, I didn't see anyone guarding him. I only heard the sound of undead. I'd recognize that sound anywhere, really.
then I think we need to take this information to the Malt Masters, but I'm pretty sure that we have a feeling where he is.
The holiday destination of the world, yeah.
Absolutely. I'll tell you one thing, guys. If he is down there...
How the hell did he get there?
Yeah, but also, if
How
the dragon
long is
went
it-
north, maybe south is a good idea.
True.
How long has it been since the dragon?
About a week.
Been a good week now.
That's a
Probably about
lot
a
of
week
time
and
to
a
cover
half
in a
now,
week.
actually.
Yes.
Wasn't he there almost immediately? He didn't know
Well,
where he was.
True.
To be fair,
That's...
we also teleported. So it's not unfeasible that he covered that distance in a short amount of time. Or whoever took him covered a large distance.
Yeah, my worry is
Whoever took him.
someone has the power to do that, and that is slightly more disconcerting.
Other than ethereal, you mean?
Yeah, or a dragon. You know, they're all pretty difficult people, but how the flipping hell did anyone get him down there that quickly?
I feel like we need to bring this information to the Malt Masters.
Let's
and
do it.
then-
Definitely.
Let's talk to them and let's discuss it further.
If you don't mind, I'll stop by the temple before I meet you there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Do it.
Okay, so Bothrid, Ander, and Dargon begin to head off towards the keep, and rather than turning into the courtyard, they make the winding way up between Mephisto's and sort of through the wooded area. You, Kirik, however, make that left turn, head towards the temple. Still snow on the ground, still coldness to the air. And you enter the temple. Assuming you go straight over to the Raven Queen's alcove?
Yeah, and as I do, I will be kind of reading the entry on the book about this particular temple.
As in,
Just
the temple in the keep, sorry.
yeah, the temple in the keep, just to see what it says
Okay.
about it.
So as you read, it basically explains that this temple was constructed by the Malt Masters Guild themselves as a way of recognizing all faiths in Nihiling and providing a central place of worship and communion for all faiths, for all races. It was a way of them showing the world that they did not discriminate. There is a note at the bottom, scribbled, and the note reads, "It is rumoured the Malt Masters visit here themselves, although which gods they go to visit, it is not known."
I'll pop the book back into the haversack, and I will take a moment and walk in, and try to identify one of the priests that is around.
And again, there are numerous priests. The one that catches your eye is much like Dargon found: black robes, white mask. You see no face, race, gender.
Good morning, brother. I have been told that an item has been placed here yesterday by my request, and that I was to pick it up.
Yes. You sent the Goliath on an errand.
Yes.
We were eager to understand your desires with such an item.
I wanted to have something that would reflect on the connection that I have with her. We've been through a lot. She has helped as she is known. And I wanted to make sure that I am not losing my way.
Strange sounds from under the temple, because I don't know if you're getting that or not.
No,
begin to
we just
sound.
see your scared face.
There's this printer
Yeah,
going
my
off, I can hear it.
Printer just randomly kicks into gears. Always does it when I'm doing a spooky bit as well. Anyway, back into the zone. Perhaps if it is her assistance you seek, then it is her you must ask. And he just points to the altar as such, which you have visited a few times before.
Thank you. And I'll move to the altar. To you. Are you the one with my symbol?
And he holds it out.
I'll pick it up. I'll nod, and I'll make my way to the altar, where I will place. I'll kneel, and I'll place my symbol, and then the symbol that Bothrid made for me, for Midwinters, kind of one on top of the other. And I will light up a little bit of incense, and I will try to communicate.
Make me a perception check first, please.
Oh.
And can I just say that whiskey is fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah, I've had one. It's really nice. I might have the other soon, later on.
Talisker Storm.
Was that perception, you see?
Yep, just straight perception, please.
15.
You notice that the priest has kept quite close. And is now stood behind you, watching.
Cool.
As you now begin to commune, I will need a religion check with advantage, please.
14.
14. You close your eyes and the incense sort of fills your nostrils, fills your senses. And you feel a hand on your shoulder.
Mm-hmm. I will open my eyes and
There is darkness.
turn. Okay. I will turn around then.
As you turn your head, as there is a significant amount of force keeping you kneeling at this point, you see a black robe and a gloved hand on your shoulder.
I wanted to thank you once again. And it's been a terrible period, and I feel like that what's to come is not going to be any better. I'm split. I know of 3 strong undead presences around, and I feel a bit stretched thin. I don't know where to head next. The dragon needs to be dealt with, as undead as she is. Crane Flower has apparently been overrun, and I fear that some of that is on me. And now Vraco is somewhere where undead are situated. I just wanted a little guidance.
And there is a few moments of silence before finally a little bit of pressure on your shoulder. Guard the veil. A few more moments of silence. I am with you. Always.
Thank
The
you.
pressure releases. You still feel the weight of the hand on your shoulder. Your eyes almost instinctively close once more. As you open them again, still the pressure of a hand on your shoulder. And this time as you turn, the priest behind you has his, hers, its, their hand on your shoulder. And then points to the floor where you've laid the two symbols. No longer two symbols, but the metal of your holy symbol now wound with these black, almost polished black vines intricately forming around the symbol of the Raven Queen, around that symbol of the mask, and then what looks like almost polished onyx directly where the eyes of the Raven Queen's mask are.
Yes.
It would seem she has answered.
She is known to. Thank you.
Do not thank me. Thank our mistress.
I will grab my symbol, place it around my neck, and give one last look at the altar, turn around, and make my way to the keep.
And as you turn and go to leave, the priest places a hand on your chest. Guard the veil, Kirik.
I try and figure out what that means.
You will understand when she deems it necessary.
Of course.
And you leave the temple and begin to make your way towards the keep. And we are going to take a short break at this point.
Woo. See you in a minute.
Hi-oh.
Welcome back. Indeed, so a massive shout out to everybody that is still with us on Twitch. Hope you're enjoying the episode so far. But let's get back into it as Kirik makes his way over to the keep. And Dargon and Bothrid, you have all been let in by Mirabelle. And she has taken you straight to the war room, where you find the cooper, the distiller, and the blender sat. And the Cooper sort of looks at you all. Well, Bothrid, you have a lot to answer for. That was a fine brew.
Having a lovely
Fine
sleep last
brew.
night.
Yes, I rather enjoyed my night in the stars, shall we say.
You should try his tea. Bellissimo.
Bothrid, big toothy grin. So, boys, where's Kirik?
He'll be on his way. He'll be here shortly.
Yes, he's just praying.
Very well.
We've been on our errands. Happy to wait until he arrives if you are, or he does come with some rather good information, and I would prefer it come from him. He found it.
Well, we are missing old Stilly, so yes, let us wait. Did you enjoy Midwinters? It was rather interesting for you, I understand, Dargon.
Rather. I hope I didn't give too many people a scare.
And the distiller at this point chimes up. Well, quite the contrary, actually. He gave a couple of people a stare, but everybody else thought it was part of the show.
Oh, very good. On that note, thank you again for your particular present. I actually hope I never have to use it, but obviously if I do, I know it'll be there. And I am hoping to actually be able to use this to our advantage, but I hope that if you know of anyone who might be able to help, or maybe even yourselves, I'd like to get a bit more in control of it, and maybe even embody some of the things I will be doing in some of the new things that I may or may not learn in the future. I also think I'd like to become
far too cryptic for this room. Does anybody else understand what the fuck he just said? The blender at this point goes,
He wants to be a badass.
I think
We're
Cooper,
there.
he would like to try and control the gift.
That's the one.
Oh. Right. Simple terms, Dargon, simple terms. Come on, boy. Sure. Well, I don't know what the others think, but perhaps I am the best placed. With all these things, practice makes perfect, and you'll have a hard time denting my armor.
Sounds good. Like the sound of this.
Very well.
While we're making some small talk, what sort of parties do you guys throw if a bear is considered part of the course of a usual Malt Masters Guild type party?
That's my kind of party.
I think it was less the parties we throw and more the spiced wine that seemed to addle more than a few brains that night. My dear blender here almost found herself on the end of the wrong shaft, shall we say.
You old salt, you.
And the blender blushes slightly. Yes. Bothrid, I think next time, perhaps a little less wine.
Nonsense.
I need to hear more about this shaft, but I think that's a story for another time.
No, we don't. No, we don't. That will do. Thank you very much. We all had a good night. And at this point, Kirik, you walk up to the door to be met by Mirabelle, who bows silently, as is her way, and leads you up to the war room. Well, you can hear you hear the laughter. You hear the blender say, no, that will do. Thank you very much. And then there is a polite knock from Mirabelle. Yes. And Mirabelle opens the door. Kirik, you enter. See 3 of the Malt Masters and your 3 companions. As Mirabelle looks in the room, slightly confused, holds up a finger, and then disappears, leaving the door slightly ajar.
Good morning.
Good morning, Kirik. We were just discussing the festival. A good time had by all, so it seems.
Well, yeah, until the end of the night, I think. But issues resolved, I'm sure.
Yes,
for now.
About the end of the night. How did old Dargon here lose the claws?
A random and slightly creepy guy called Nick.
Well, you see, I was going to take the credit then, but yeah, Nick.
Nick who?
Just
You
Nick.
know. Nick with a big sack. Pervy Nick.
Have I been on the spiced wine again, or are these fuckers making no sense today?
We're making no sense,
believe
but
me, we understand it as much as you, I think.
Right. Yes. Ah, Stilly, about time you joined us. And the Stillman makes his way in, looking a little bit perturbed, but sits down in the chair, sort of just slumps. Let's get on with it.
Well, I'm afraid I've got good news, but also some bad news to come with. I have recently been able to identify the location of our companion Draco.
You have?
Yes, he is alive and in possession of some of his capabilities, at least. But he is in a cell in a place, in a castle that seems half in ruins. The ground itself, ashen would be the best way to describe it. I heard wind and I saw the sea and I heard undead creatures about, and difficult to say what they were exactly, but he seems to be in a cell in this castle. The cell itself doesn't seem to be guarded per se. Doesn't mean that there isn't, obviously you would know, magical abilities and magical effects that keep him within the cell, but I saw no one else. He was without his armor, without his possessions, but he was alive, tormented somehow, perhaps even tortured. But you are the ones that are meant to send us somewhere, but I think I speak for all four of us when I say that we very much would like to try and find out where he might be.
aye.
And bring him back.
This is our most important task.
From the information that Kirik gave, we've been looking over the map. There was a couple of places in mind, but we're pretty sure that the only place in the map that it describes would be the Isle of the Dead, or whatever it's called.
That is disturbing, to say the least.
Yeah, from either a discussion we had with you or with other people, pretty sure that someone told us that we should never go there, and it now looks like we're going to have to.
don't really see how. No one, and I mean no one, has ever returned.
First of
That
all,
place is almost...
let me ask this question. It was difficult to cross to Greenflower. Is it just as difficult to cross the seas to the Isle of the Dead?
It is not the seas, as far as we understand, that is the problem. It is the island itself. It is death. To go there is to die.
Then how is Vraco alive?
A good question in itself. What do you know of the Isle?
Bugger all. With your description, is there something that we could have misunderstood? It could be somewhere else.
I think this tale is best told by the Blender. You know most. You're the only one that's been close. And the Blender becomes almost solemn. Yes, it's not a place I would wish to revisit. My husband was a brave man. Too brave. This is not the first time we have lost someone to the Isle. He and I sought to rescue them. I had to watch the ship, but well, let's just say he never came back. And that island is filled with creatures that, well, one-on-one, probably not much of anything, but they swarm. History says that the isle itself was the site of a long-fought battle. And it was the site of the last battle before the king brokered the deal. That battle devastated the island. Nothing lives on the island. Nothing good. Nothing... Oh. Don't know how else you would describe it.
I'm sorry for your loss.
It's been time. I have come to terms.
Can you think, apart from the fact that it's an undead dragon, why Vraco would have gone missing outside the tomb, and the next we know, he's on the Isle of the Dead?
I think perhaps we are making an assumption that the dragon took him there.
Not necessarily the dragon, I just worry
correct.
Why and how. What's the connection? Otherwise, there were two groups of nasty people here, and he got swept by the second one. Just seems odd.
The Blender goes silent. And
Anyway, by the way,
distiller, watching her struggle for words, I think it's pertinent for you to understand that just because we rule is a strong term, but just because we lead in this land does not mean we aren't without enemies. Vraco is a known face of the Malt Masters Guild. It could be any one of our enemies. It could be our collective enemies. This Eladrin. The dragon, I think, was a good distraction for someone. something.
That seems to carry more weight. So, we seem to have to rescue one of ours from a island that no one ever comes back from. That's a long way away. And he somehow is alive. Before we go blundering in as we usually do...
It's incorrect to say that no one has returned. Where is the wizard?
Do you mean ethereal?
Yes, I mean ethereal, boy. Where is the wizard?
That's a good question. Shall we go find him? Are you saying that you think that he has been to the island and back?
He's been to the island. He was there.
Bloody hell, he looks good for his age, doesn't he?
Oh, in the battle. Right.
Stilly. Calm down.
Sorry, do you mean
That has
he
yet
went
to be proven.
he went with you to rescue him, or he was actually at that battle? And I know you've just said yet to be proven.
And the Stillman stands, walks over to you, Dargon, flicks you in the head. Listen. I said he was there.
Slowly stands up.
And the Cooper stands up. Make me a perception check.
Yes, Dargo.
Anybody who wishes to?
It's an unnatural 20 again. Loving that dice today.
No.
15.
10.
10. Kirik and Dargon, in this slightly heightened state, you notice the Cooper is in full armour. Which he ever so often is. But now you pay closer attention to the armour, as I don't think you've paid this much attention before. You notice that his armour bears a particular symbol. The silverish head of a dragon adorns the very chest piece of his armour, and the pauldrons as well.
Either Pally.
Stilly, sit down. We are a guild. We are a family. We do not fight our own. Ethereal claims to have no memories of the Isle, but perhaps he can still be of service. If Vraco is on the Isle, then we must rescue him. A task, I'm afraid, boys, I must yet again ask you to undertake.
You would have trouble telling us not to go.
So
Thank you.
Just clarifying, everybody's thinking that are we all as certain as we can be that from Kirik's description, it couldn't be anywhere else than the island. And just to circle back around that, we head to our death.
I think with the undead vibe that Kirik was getting, having a particular penchant for that type of stuff, you'd be hard pushed to find anywhere else. But I do defer to the Malt Masters. I'm sure they would know if there's anywhere else.
Well, I have no idea personally. I don't deal with undead. Distiller? It would certainly seem the most likely of places. Kirik, is there any way of you sharing your vision, or whatever it was you saw?
Not that I'm aware of. I could describe to you as much as best I can of what I saw, but other than that, I don't think I can bring people along with. It's something quite new to me as well. But
might you allow me to look?
Of course.
Very well. Might I ask everyone else to leave? Sometimes this can draw out more than we wish to target, and do not wish to.
Is this the distiller?
Risk.
Is the distiller speaking?
This
Sorry.
is the distiller.
Cool.
Kirik, are you okay with this?
Or perhaps, Kirik, we can do this alone another time.
I'd rather do this as soon as possible. I would like to go and get Reiko.
Very well. My fellow masters, if you will. And the Cooper stands, walks round, picks up the Stillman, and leads him out and sort of throws him out the door a little bit. The blender looks at you, Kirik, looks at the distiller, nods her head, and then sort of beckons to the other three.
I stand up, put my shoulder on, my hand on Kirik's shoulder, give you a nod, leave the room.
I shall follow.
Cool. With the two of you now alone in the war room, the distiller brings up a chair in front of you and sits in front of you. And she sort of holds out her hands.
I'll hold out mine on top of hers if that's what I get the feeling she wants.
And she nods her head and then says, "Think only of what you saw."
I'll focus as much as I can on the memory of the scrying earlier on.
Okay. As she closes her eyes, and around your hands there is a bluish-white glow. As she mutters a word of some sorts. And you now see that on her lap she has placed what look like eggshells. Make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Boy. 20.
You manage to keep focus on exactly what you saw. And yet again, you see the images in your mind, but you also now feel a second presence within your mind. Almost sifting through your very thoughts. Sifting through the images as you think on them. And it lasts only a few moments. But it is an alien feel inside your head. It's not natural. You are not used to it. And it doesn't feel comfortable. And you can feel a desire to delve further. But as you get the sense of that desire, you hold your nerve, hold your resolve, and stick only to the vision you were granted. And as that glow begins to fade, the distiller opens her eyes. The Isle of the Dead indeed. Thank you, Kirik. Please forgive me if overzealousness took me there. This spell is sometimes hard to combat curiosity.
That's quite alright. Before you call the others in, I was hoping that I could show you something and give you something. I've been trying to get alone with you for a while now, and I'll reach out to my haversack, and I will take out of the bag the sword that Ender picked up from the cave. And I'll place it on the table, being careful kind of not to touch the hilt as much as possible. How does the ruby look?
The ruby at this point is almost pristine.
Shit. Great. I'll say to the distiller, this is something that we came across shortly before we met Ethereal for the first time, actually. It caused a great deal of trouble amongst our group, and especially, I fear, suffered the most. I wouldn't want it to fall in the wrong hands again. I've done my own research, and I've asked guidance from the Raven Queen herself, and as far as I can tell, the blades once belonged to a fiend from the Shadowfell, and it was created by a banished wizard of the time of the kings. I have not been able to know more, but if you could learn more and perhaps get rid of it. You don't seem to be the type that would be interested in wielding such an item, so I feel safe giving it to you.
Certainly not. I have no need for swords. And this one gives me a uneasy feeling.
I was able to break the curse that affected Ander, and in doing so, the crystal on top of the hilt was shattered. As you can see now, it's been rebuilding itself.
Yes. Once in the Shadowfell, always in the Shadowfell. Thank you for this, Kirik. One less evil to plague this land. It will be locked away, studied if necessary, but certainly locked away.
Thank you.
And she clicks her fingers, and the sword itself shimmers and disappears from the table.
Nice.
Shall we let
Neat
the
trick.
others back in?
Yes.
Thank you. Come on then, I know you're all outside.
As I'm like listening at the door.
And even though you were listening at the door, you hear absolutely nothing. It's almost like static. It's absolutely nothing. Apart from the voice, which now rings out. And the Cooper sort of opens the door. Well?
Is it what we thought?
I'm afraid
Yes,
so,
it would
apparently.
certainly seen the Isle of the Dead. Kirik has seen what looks like the dungeons of the Sundered Keep on the easternmost point of the island.
So, Cooper, I believe it may have been you discussing with our good friend Captain Swift. Thank you, by the way, for looking after him. Do you think the best way of us getting there might be what you've been working on with him? Or do you have alternative solutions?
What I've been it was me, not him.
My apologies.
I have sought to improve the ship. It may come in useful.
Would be very useful indeed.
It will not be ready for almost a month.
Then it looks like
Perhaps
we're
we
making...
use this time to plan.
Plan.
A month is an awful long time.
Do we think Vraco would survive the month?
I would prefer to expedite
don't feel particularly
that.
comfortable with the idea. Yeah.
If I double the efforts, perhaps 2 weeks. I will make it 2 weeks.
Kirik, I have to admit, I don't see us getting there any sooner than 2 weeks, even if we got horses and ran them till they fell.
True.
I'll turn to the distiller and I'll say, could you drop us there?
I have not been there. I know not of any circles that would get you there.
Perhaps nearby.
The closest I could get you would be to, well, Atticus, I guess. You could go to Ardburig, but the orcs there are less welcoming to those who do not cross their bridge. I think Atticus is probably the best place to go.
Could we have the map, please?
So
Do
we
we-
go via Atticus. Then how do we get from Atticus to the Isle of the Dead?
Is Atticus a port town?
Well, there are boats, but you'd be hard-pressed to find anybody willing to go to the Isle of the Dead.
Do we give that a go anyway and get Captain Swift to meet us there for a hasty
That
retreat?
is my thinking.
So then, yeah, okay.
So, if I
Then how
teleport
long
you
will it
there
take
and
us to
you
get there?
wait
Oh,
for
right.
the captain, I'm failing to see what you plan to do in the time.
No, what I mean
How are
is...
you going to cross the sea?
Oh. Well, if we're not going to be able to find anyone who's stupid enough to sail us across, then yeah, it is fairly pointless. It may sound. But if we can, then it's more the fact that Captain Swift picks us up on the way back. if we can't get passage via anyone other than Captain Swift, then it is a fairly moot point.
I mean, is Eticus the type of place where we could... I just don't want to be sitting twiddling my thumbs for 2 weeks in Eticus, waiting for the ship, whereas we could spend 2 weeks here training, learning, researching, bettering ourselves for the obvious battle ahead whilst we wait for the ship.
As difficult as it is to sit around, maybe that's the only choice we have.
The blender at this point sort of speaks up. As much as it pains me, there is nothing we can do for Vraco right now. A plan would be better. Running in half-cocked didn't work well for me last time.
Then I think we must plan. We must better ourselves. And we should move as soon as that boat is ready.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Kirik, maybe
Then
we can fairly regularly check up on Vraco, and maybe even with your wonderful message spell, tell him not any details that would give us away, but just communicate with him that we still want to get him back, but without giving anything away. This is going to be a tough 2 weeks.
I'm sure we can. I'll keep checking up on him as much as possible, perhaps even once every day. I will check how he's doing, and I will send him a message also every day, or at the end of every day, perhaps.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, we spend our time preparing.
I hate to admit it, but maybe I need a few weeks to understand and control this, as well as better myself in other ways.
you and I, Dargon, begin work immediately.
That I couldn't agree more. So,
Then it is agreed. Stilly, on with the ship. The rest of you, I suggest we help these boys out in what ways we can. Dargon,
yes.
to the field.
My hammer slams into my hand out of nowhere. I'm ready.
Very well. And we are going to do a 2-week time jump.
Woo! I can't decide
So,
if that's
we're gonna end
Kirik
it
or
there
Samar
tonight.
is pissed about that.
So we are going to end it there for tonight. But
undead.
my ask for the players is going to be think about what you would do with those 2 weeks. So it's kind of obvious for some bits, but there may be other little bits you may want to do as part of your level up as well. So now is the opportunity. Obviously, there's reading to be done as well. If you want to do any reading,
I take it we
can
won't
work
really
that
get
out.
a chance to do that reading in the 2 weeks, but we can do a good chunk of it. I say a good chunk of it, probably
Don't
not even a
think
good chunk of it.
you won't complete it,
No.
but you can certainly make a dent.
So in the 2 weeks, I will be looking at my book of songs in my evenings in my downtime, but what I want to do is research more about, similar to what I was talking to Mephisto about wanting to use my words more and talk our way out of trouble more than fight our way out of trouble. So I will be reading more about a particular bardic college that I am interested in, and the ways of bardic magic and spells. So I'll be doing more research, as it were, trying to learn new techniques and tricks.
So do you want us to talk about it now or next week?
No. Keep it to yourselves. Either send me a message and we can work it out, that particular point, and we will pick up next week. But yeah, we will leave it there for tonight. A lot of RP in that episode, which is great fun. I enjoyed it. Hopefully the players enjoyed it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. No combat this week, but then it's D&D. It's not all about combat. It is about the character progression and the story progression, and we are certainly progressing with various aspects. Once again, a huge thank you and a shout out to the tools that we use, to D&D Beyond, to Tabletop Audio, to Hero Forge, to Incarnate. We did see the maps today, so the map of Nylon was created using Incarnate, and I every now and again tweak it a little bit. And the beautiful thing about Incarnate is, should anything happen in the world, I can still tweak the map and edit the map. I can even zoom in areas of the map, and you can actually pull those areas out and make them more detailed and do what you want with them. It's a really cool tool, so go and use it. I did also use 5e Magic Shop again tonight, and Kassoon, so please do check them out. We didn't get to hear a lot of battle bards tonight, but hopefully we will do in the future, and you've heard the sound effects before, but please do go and use that discount code if you want any discounts for your own home games, your home brews, your modules, however you are playing D&D and getting through these uncertain times. Please do use that code. I can't stress enough how much better and more immersive it will make your game. That is pretty much it for tonight. So in closing, I think it will be pertinent of me to say, be safe. Try not to focus on the negatives. Try and be positive in the weeks ahead. It's going to be a slog, but we'll all get there together. So from all of us at Malt and Magic, wishing you a very good evening. We will see you next week.